So,
Wanna plate test new Digimon sets?
Yo, what's going on YouTube? My name is Brady. Welcome to Digital Hazard. Whether you're joining for the first time or returning from a previous video, I just appreciate the fact that you guys are here. As of the recording of this video, we are on the cusp of the release of BT8 New Awakening in the English market, and some people might want to try out some new decks to get an idea of what they want to play in the new format. And of course, one of the best ways to do that is by printing off proxy cards so that you can test over webcam or in real life with your friends. So the purpose of this video is to show you guys how I go about making my proxies. I've seen in a lot of Digimon groups and on Facebook before that some people struggle to print off the proxies in the right size, so I want to offer you guys my method to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, to get started, you guys will want to prepare a couple things beforehand. The things that you will need are 1. A Windows or Mac PC. 2. A printer and some ink. Shouldn't have to explain that part. 3rd. A cutting device, whether it be scissors or one of these bad boys, which is a line cutter. 4th, you will need an application called TCG Proxy Generator. I will have the link to that down in the description. And 5th, you probably should install an extension for Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Opera, if people use that, called Allow Right Click. DigimonCard.dev and the official Digimon card website, as far as I've used in the past, do not allow usual right clicking to save images, and this extension will go ahead and re-enable that for you. So now that you guys know the tools that you will need, let me show you the process behind making these proxies. Alright, so I am going to be proxying out an Imperial Dramon Jawgrass deck for the new format. The list that I am going to be basing this deck on is Huang Zero's Imperial Dramon profile that he recently posted. I will have the link to this in the description as well. I definitely suggest checking out his video if you guys can. Some of these cards I've already made as proxies, so I'm not going to reprint those because that's just a waste of ink. But let's go ahead and show you guys how I do this. First of all, I'm going to need this Stingmon, for example. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the official Digimon website and go to their card list. You could also use digimoncard.dev, but I feel like the official site has the cleanest images. So let's go ahead and just search up Stingmon, for example. And we'll go ahead and grab the Stingmon image here. In your extension bar, if this is not enabled, you'll know it's enabled because it'll be filled in here. Go ahead and click that, and then you can naturally right click on the image and just hit save image as. Save it wherever you want on your desktop. I have a folder made specifically for the cards that I'm going to proxy out, so I'll go ahead and save it here. And then we'll just go ahead and do this for every single card. So I'll need the Pyldramon, for example. So we can go up here, search Pyldramon, and go ahead and grab that card as well. You guys probably will have to re-enable this extension every time you search up a new card. That's a mild annoyance, but like I said, it's better than having to, inspect the source code and grab the images for there. So once you guys go ahead and download all of the images that you want, we can go ahead and move on to the next part. The next part, after you have all of your images downloaded, again, is to make sure that you have the application TCG Proxy Generator downloaded. Again, I will have the link to that down in the description, so go ahead and click that link and it will bring you to this website, which then you guys can go ahead and scroll down and download the appropriate version of the application for your system. In my case, I have a Windows system, so I will go ahead and click download for that and hit save. Once you have it downloaded, go to the location that you saved it in and you'll be able to extract it from the zip archive. Windows, I believe, should still be able to do this by default, so you shouldn't have any trouble extracting the archive. Once you have it extracted, go ahead and go into the folder and run the tcg proxy gen.exe, and this is the application that will load up for you. The reason this application is so great is because it accurately sizes and saves in a nice printable PDF all of your proxies for you. It makes life so much easier. It's better than using some sort of Word document to size things up, or trying to manually size things up by trial and error. This just does it all for you. So in order to use this application, you guys can go ahead and just drag a folder of images, or you can individually drag the images or select all the images at the same time and drag them in there, which is what I'm going to do. And you guys will see that it nice and starts organizing the images for you. You've got a couple options on the side. You can go ahead and pad out the card, the distance from the border of the page that the cards get printed. You guys can put some space in between each card, but the thing that I've noticed when I do this is it actually changes the size of the cards when you print them out. So I would actually suggest going ahead and leaving things at their default size. The one thing that I do like to do though is go ahead and click this part that says fill the space between cards. This just adds a little bit of black between each card, which in my opinion makes cutting them out just a tad bit easier. So if you want to, go ahead and click that. Next thing you guys can do is say, for example, I've only got one Imperial Dramon fighter mode here. I'm going to need multiple copies of that card, obviously. So all you need to do is go ahead and click it, and it automatically duplicates it for you. If you guys accidentally click it once too many times, like I've got 5 copies here, you just go ahead and right click it and it's gone. So go ahead and do that for every copy of each card that you need. And once you've got that done, go ahead and hit print. This is going to save it as a PDF, so select the location that you guys want to save that. I'm just gonna, for organizational sake, save it in the same folder that I saved all of my images. I'll just save this as Imperial Dramon Proxies and save. So you'll be able to go into that folder. You'll have a PDF here. You'll be able to open said PDF and go ahead and just print that out. So let's go ahead and print them. As you guys can see, we have our proxies nice and printed off. If I go ahead and hold an actual Digimon card up to them, you guys can see that they are pretty close, if not entirely accurate to the size of the card. So the next step is obviously to go ahead and start getting your arts and crafts on and start cutting these. I am going to be using my line cutter for cutting these proxies. I like using one of these because it gets nice, clean, straight lines and helps your proxies look just that little bit neater. So you've got multiple ways to go ahead and line up your cards on these for cutting them accurately. If your line cutter, if you decide to use one, is anything like mine, you'll have this line here that you can use. You'll also have a line here on the blade itself that you can go ahead and line up with the edge of the card. So I like to first off just use this line to go ahead and kind of eyeball where I think the card should be, and then I'll move the line cutter just a tad bit above the edge of the card and then start lining up this part of it as well with the blade. And once I think I have it accurately positioned, obviously just go ahead and cut off that line. You guys can see got a nice clean line there, and then obviously you want to go ahead and do it for here, and then chop off the edges. So let's go ahead and get all of these cut out. Something I do want to know, and is the reason that I suggested hitting that option to fill in the blank space between cards, is you might get to you will get to a point like this where it could be hard to distinguish where the line should be between each card. And if you have that little black spot between cards, you can go ahead and try and center your line cutter with the middle of this to go ahead and make it easier to cut in between each card. The last thing left to do once you have your proxies all cut out and looking nice is, of course, sleeve them so you can go ahead and start playing with them. If you're like me, you're going to be using your proxies alongside real cards from older sets, so you're going to want to go ahead and reinforce the paper proxy somehow. You can do this if you've got old memory counters lying around from the booster packs that you didn't throw away for some reason. If you're like me, you might have a bunch of these energy cards lying around from Pokemon. You can use those, or of course, you can use bulk Digimon cards. So all you're going to want to do is go ahead, sleeve up the bulk Digimon card, take your proxy, go ahead and slip it in front of the card, and hopefully you struggle less with it than I do. And there you go, guys. It's all nice and sized up, ready for you to go ahead and use and test out your deck. Also, with Proxies, you can pretend that you have the money to max rarity your deck. If this video was helpful for you guys, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I do all sorts of Digimon content, particularly matches. If you guys would like to follow me on social media, the links to that will be in the description below. I also stream on Twitch, so if you guys want to get in some practice matches against me or watch me play tournaments, I would appreciate you guys following me there too. But otherwise, happy proxying, guys. Enjoy BT8 when it comes out, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.